Saving 700 kilos of CO2 a year is easier than you might think. How? By cycling or taking public transport to work. And believe it or not, that's the same as planting around 30 trees or keeping your car parked for nearly 3 months. Now, imagine if thousands of companies and millions of employees made that change together. We would not only breathe cleaner air, we would transform how our cities move. That's what we call sustainable corporate commuting, changing the way we travel to work so it benefits people, companies, and the planet. Because for many, the commute is just part of the daily routine, but behind every journey lies a hidden cost. For employees, it's stress, fatigue, and hours lost each week. For companies, it means lower productivity, higher absenteeism, and difficulties keeping and hiring talent. And for cities, it's traffic, noise, and air pollution that never seems to stop. Until recently, these impacts were seen as personal choices. Now they're recognized as part of a company's environmental footprint. But how is it regulated? Under the EU's new Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, or CSRD, companies have to measure and disclose the full environmental impact of their operations, not only inside the office, but also on the way to it. That's the so-called Scope 3 Category 7. These Scope 3 emissions cover all indirect greenhouse gases linked to a company's value chain: business travel, purchase goods, logistics, and also how employees commute to work. And Category 7 refers to the CO2 generated by workers traveling between home and the workplace. By understanding and reporting these emissions, companies can identify where to act, from offering public transport passes to redesigning parking to encouraging remote work or active travel. Across Europe and beyond, some cities and companies are already taking action. In Paris, the Plan Vélo has transformed the way people move. In 2024, 11.2% of trips within the city centre are made by bike, compared to just 4.3% by car. It's a remarkable shift since the plan was introduced in 2015. In Brussels, Belgium, employers must cover 75% of their staff public transport costs and submit a company travel plan every 3 years. According to the Urban Mobility Observatory, the Netherlands has turned cycling into a corporate asset. Commutes by bike have risen by 57% between March 2024 and 2025, supported by employers' subsidized leasing and flexible schedules. In 2025, in Bogota, more than 130 kilometers of streets are closed to cars every Sunday during the city's famous ciclovia, giving space back to people to walk, run, and cycle. It may look like a small step, but it's really helping people rethink how they move in their everyday lives. Transforming commuting isn't only about cutting emissions. It's about healthier people, happier teams, and cities that breathe again. So walk, cycle, take the bus, share your car, suggest a mobility plan at work, or work from home a few days a week if you can. Every small change makes a difference. When companies take responsibility for how their people move, they create impact far beyond the workplace. But now it's your turn to share. What about you? How will you get to work tomorrow? Let us know in the comments.